What's happening? I'm Daniel Dekay, and I like to party. Welcome back to Overkill Reviews, BangerTV's weekly heavy metal review show. This week, I'm reviewing an album from my favorite subgenre. Let's thrash. Oh yes, it's Enforced's new record, War Remains, out April 28th on Century Media. Hailing from Richmond, Virginia, Enforced have been cranking out quality tunes since 2017. Their first two demos struck me as more metallic hardcore meets crossover, but as more time and two records went on, it became very clear that Enforced had not yet reached their final form. I reviewed their last record, Kill Grid, right here on Banger TV, and I fucking loved it, so I am very excited to see what the boys Knox, Will, Zach, Alex, and Ethan have cooked up for us this time. The band's sound may be evolving, but I want to address two of the more consistent things when it comes to Enforced records: the artwork and the mix. The legendary Joe Pitagno returns to do yet another cover for Enforced that perfectly complements the music and gives a sense of cohesive continuity when you look at it next to Kill Grid. I really love that you can see the strokes and the actual canvas in the painting. I think it makes for a really raw, dark, and aggressive feel, which is a perfect visual accompaniment for the record. Arthur Risk and his golden ear also return for the mix and master. The instruments and vocals all feel incredibly balanced and presented in a way that allows all the little fine details like kick drum patterns to shine through with clarity in their natural states without ever really sounding overproduced. Nothing feels overpowering on this album, and even in the most chaotic moments, you can still stop and pick out every individual thing. It sounds massive, honest, and to the point. Let's talk guitars. This is some seriously tight, riff-forward thinking thrash with super thick guitar tones. The riffing is diverse and blends everything from single open note chugging patterns to straightforward chord progressions and face-melting, super busy notey riffs. I really love that this band also embraces the guitar solo so much that some of these songs even have 3 solos in one tune. The leads aren't just present, they're also incredibly dynamic. They've got everything from super fast tremolo picking parts to the more melodic, slower building composition runs. There's even some tapping and plenty of insane reverbed out dive bombs. Check out this standout guitar part, even though honestly, I could have picked 5 different guitar parts for you and they all would have had the same impact. Gotta give some serious vocal and lyrical love to Knox. His voice is what really ties this band together and sets it apart from some of its other thrash and hardcore contemporaries. I love all his little growls, grunts, accents, and the phrasing he uses. On top of the outstanding delivery and performance, his lyrics are just so powerful, like these ones that close out the record. An ever-living breath, a spark that measures death. The constant principle, exchanging cyclical. The fire is the flux, a planet self-destructs. Burn anew through funeral pyre. All right, I love my thrash speedy, but there's something to be said about incorporating the mid-tempo stomp and the breakdowns when they fit within a song, and that's exactly what we see on this record. I love when Enforced embraces the slowdown and the dynamic it brings to the otherwise predominantly speedy songs. Makes it feel like more of a journey with peaks and valleys as opposed to just a straight up assault on the senses. Check out what I mean in this clip. One of my only criticisms of the last Enforced record was all the extra intros and outros, fade-ins, fade-outs, and the inclusion of sound effects segues between the songs. And guess what? On this record, they got rid of all that shit. This album is almost 10 minutes shorter than the last record, and it feels like a true no-frills thrash record that was designed to keep the listener completely engaged the whole way through. I love that they get straight to the point on this one, and they hammer it home. With all of these things in mind, let's wrap this up and give it a rating. This record kicks ass, and Album Closer Empire might just be the band's best song to date. Now, I don't really have anything negative or anything I dislike about this record in a big way, but what I will say is that I can't wait to watch this band continue to grow and one day reach their full potential and write a true thrash anthem of our time. All this considered, I'm giving Enforced War Remains 4.5 pissed off skulls out of 5 right here on Overkill Reviews. Now, let me make sure you realize this. I don't give 5 skull reviews. I've never done it, and a 4.5 is the highest rating I've ever given on this show. So crank that shit up and inject some high energy, high quality thrash into your day. All right, let's do some shout outs. Here's a couple records you must check out. DANAVA, Nothing But Nothing, April 28th on TP Records. Something classic and more metallic hard rocking out of Portland. It's their first album since 2011, and it has the perfect amount of stonerisms, psych sensibility, and Thin Lizzy-esque dual leads. I just saw them perform live at Hell's Heroes, and they fucking slayed. And something a little more extreme for you, Defiled, the highest level, out April 28th on Season of Mist. This is Japanese old school and raw sounding death metal that flexes the abilities of tech death, but never really sounds too busy or hard to follow like techie tunes sometimes can. Instead, it is straight up pummeling. All right, that's all from me. What did you think of this album, the review, and the shout outs? Leave us a comment. We'll catch you next week.